In this video, I'm going to demonstrate a couple of different methods to display and annotate horizontal PI points in a profile. Now, the first option doesn't use cogo points at all. We're simply going to add horizontal and vertical event points and display those in the profile. This would be the best if you didn't have a whole lot of points. In this case, I just have 3. So if you just have a couple of dozen, something like that, where you can easily go out and select those points, this might be a good option, and it would limit the use of cogo points and keep your cogo buffer empty. So in order to do that, what I will do is go to Geometry, Horizontal Curve Set, and Events. So I'm going to define these by a single point. I'm going to add them as a station and offset. And I will locate these by just using this target button and going out and selecting the point. So you can see I can do that pretty easily. I can go out, select my first point, snap to that, accept it. I'll set a seed name here. 1000 is fine, so we'll use that. And define a style. And you want to make sure that you have checked on Add Vertical Event Points and Compute Elevation from Active Vertical Alignment. So I'll click Apply. And you can see the first point gets created there. It's got the name 1000. And you can see here you have the station, offset, northing, easting, and elevation. Now I can just quickly go through and pick the rest of my points here. And you can see once you get everything set up, you can go through and quickly pick a number of points. So you could easily do 10 to 20 points in just a matter of a minute or so. So once that's done, I do have the 3 PI points added as horizontal event points. And because I had this checked on to add vertical event points, you can go into the vertical curve set events. And you can see that they've been added there as well. Now it's pretty simple to go into Geometry, View Geometry, Vertical Annotation, and now we can display and annotate those points in the profile. So you always want to make sure you have the correct profile identified here and the correct horizontal and vertical alignment. Next, we'll click on the Points tab. I'm going to make sure to change the point type to Event. Once you do that, you can set the justification, the station, elevation, precision, format, certain attributes here for the leaders. And then you can go down here in symbology, and this is where you're going to determine what text and what points you want to be annotated. In this case, for simplicity, I just want to show the event points, so I've toggled on event point text and event point. And if you want to change any of the symbology for these, you'll just double click here, and you can see I have mine set up to display an X at a height and width of 2. You can do the same thing here for the event point text. So we could change that to a different color if we wanted to. Once you have all this set up, you can click Apply. And you can see that the event points are displayed and annotated with the station and the elevation. So that's one way to do it. Let me show you the other way. I'm just going to delete this. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to remove those event points from the vertical and from the horizontal. So the second way to do this would be to actually convert these PI points to cogo points, and this would be useful if you had a whole bunch of PI points. So the way to do that, you would go back to the same command, which is Geometry, Horizontal Curve Set, Events. But this time we're going to use the alignment point to cogo as our add as, and you can see everything else kind of grays out here. Again, you want to make sure that you have compute elevation from vertical alignment toggled on. We'll give that a different seed name and set that same style of PI. And before we move ahead here, let's just take a look at how I have that style PI set up. If I go into the Style Manager and locate the style PI and select Edit, in this case we're creating cogo points, so we want to look in the Geometry feature, Points folder. And I have toggled on here the things that I want to display. I want to display the point name and I want to display the elevation. And I've specified that I want point name on row 0, elevation on the row below it, so 1. Next I'll click over on the symbology here and select Edit. And what we're interested here is the profile text and the profile point. So if we first take a look at the profile text, you can see that I've defined different attributes for that. I've also applied a rotation and an offset, and that's just for cosmetic reasons. So let's cancel that and take a look at the profile point. Again, I'm going to display this as an X. There's several different choices here to choose from. You could display it as a plus sign, but we want to just key in our own symbol here, which is an X. So you'll want to make sure that you have this style set up properly so that it will display. So now back to the horizontal events. We have all this set up as we want it. I think I put that as 2000. Got the style, got this toggled on, so I'll click Apply. And you can see here that 3 cogo points get created. And these cogo points, northing easting elevation, that is going to, of course, correspond with the points here. So I want to close out of that. And now I want to use the command evaluation, profile, points to profile. For the style, I'm going to use the style that I assigned, which was that PI. Again, always make sure you have the correct profile set identified. And then you're just going to key in the points that you want to project. So I could either key in 2000 to 2002 here, or I could just put an asterisk in, and that would get all of them. Once that's set up, I'll click Apply. And again, you can see that I have displayed my point here, which is my PI, and I have the point name and the elevation here. So you can use one of these two methods just depending on your needs and the complexity of your project.